guys, what's going on? How's your week been? I have been busy. I have been trying to record this episode for like 3 days. It's now Thursday. I've been trying since Monday, but every day I keep getting home and I'm like, we'll do it tomorrow. And then today, I even had the same thought. Like, I don't have a whole lot on today, but I was like, fuck, we'll do it tomorrow. And I was like, nah, if I do it tomorrow, then I'm gonna be like flat chat tomorrow. So I was like, nah, get it out of the way, do it today. I already planned it. I still hadn't, when I woke up this morning, I still hadn't done my podcast clips for last week's episode, part 2 of the other one, but I've done them now. I made that a priority. Oh, and now I'm recording this one. Woo! It is Thursday the 7th of April today. So how's your week been, guys? Think about that for a second. Reflect on how your week's been. I know for me it's been quite busy. When did we record last? I recorded last on Tuesday, or I think it was Tuesday last week, or Wednesday last week, one of those days. All I know is Wednesday last week was a big fucking day. I can't remember if I touched on it last week or not, but I had a swim in the morning, and then I jumped in on a Metcon with Ben in the afternoon, and then, at midday, and then ran in the afternoon. And I felt really fucking good. I was like, you know what? I got plenty of energy to keep going. So I did. And then that energy slowly swindled out towards the end of the week. But Wednesday was fucking good. It was good to hit some solid sessions. Had a lot of fun. I can't remember I think the Metcon was actually alright. I didn't get fucking crushed by it, which was good. There were like 8 6-minute blocks, and like he alternated between a cardio focus block and a strength focus block, so it was pretty tasty. And then the run was like 15 or something Ks, so it wasn't that bad. And then I just walked home. I ran from home to make it a bit easier. That's right, because I remember like thinking, I don't know if I can do this, and then I was like, no, I'll run from home, because that means the first 5Ks will be almost all downhill, and then I can just cruise on the way back. So that's what I did. I ran from home, made the most of the first 5Ks, then hit some pretty solid efforts, and then on the way back it was uphill, so I was like, I'll cruise, and then I'll walk the last few K. So that was nice. And then Thursday, I helped Ben move houses. He moved pretty close, so it was only like a 5-minute drive, but hooked up a trailer to my car and fucking loaded that bitch a couple of times, and helped him move, which was cool. It was good to just hang out and talk a bit of shit throughout the day. And then Thursday night, so this is a revelation, I was swimming with Darcy on Monday or Tuesday, or no, Wednesday. Yeah, it was on Wednesday. I was swimming with Darcy on Wednesday, and he was like, I've been swimming with, this swim squad at Doncaster, you should come down and give it a crack. And I was like, oh, I don't know, this and that. And then I thought about it, and I thunk on it, I thunk about it. I thought about it, and I was like, oh, fuck, I don't want to. But at the same time, I know I probably should, get a bit better at something. It'd be cool. So I decided to bite the bullet, mainly because I knew that if I swam Thursday evening, then it meant Friday I would only have to do one session. I can't remember what that session was. That's right. I had a brick session on Friday, which I'm probably going to get to. But yeah, I was like, I needed to, if I swam Thursday, it would make life a bit easier. And I had a trainer set on Thursday as well. And I was like, you know what, I'll get up early, hit the trainer set, help Ben do his stuff throughout the day. And then as long as I, eat an early dinner and go swim in the evening. Sorry, I completely glossed over that. So it's the Doncaster Dolphins. That's the swim squad. And they swim they swim Monday and Thursday nights at 6:30 p.m. outside at Doncaster in a 50-meter pool. So I decided, I was like, fuck it, I'm going to go. I'm going to see what it's like. What's the worst that can happen? I don't keep up, blah, blah, blah. And that's exactly what happened. I didn't keep up. They are fucking fast. Bunch of old dudes just crushing it. For me, I thought I was really good at freestyle. I thought I was fast. No, not even close. These guys are fucking elite. So it was very humbling. I was very happy I went, because the lady that was taking the class, I wonder if I mute Does it still record? I'm sorry, I'm trying to figure out so my laptop doesn't make noises. Yes, it does. Fucking awesome. Yeah, the lady was like watching my stroke. She's like, fuck, I don't even know what you're doing for backstroke. It's fucked. Freestyle, you're only using half your stroke, and your kicking is just shit. And I was like, all right, thank you. She didn't say it like that, but that's how I took it. But she gave me some pointers throughout the session, and by the end of it, across all of them, they felt better. Like my backstroke felt so much more smooth. My freestyle, I was getting way more out of each stroke. And my kicking, I was actually able to breathe. Because what my biggest problem was, because I'm used to being like the quickest, or one of the quickest, I'm used to just, being able to hang on easily. Whereas with these guys, there was no fucking chance I could hang on, especially when we're kicking and doing strokes that I'm not familiar with. So I was like, no, I'm just going to have to accept the fact that I'm probably going to get lapped multiple times. And that's what I did. I just accepted that. I was like, no, these guys are going to fly past me. I've just got to keep going until I get better. I will get better. I will get better as long as I keep showing up. So yeah, it was, I was fucking stoked that I went. It was such a humbling experience. I think we swam nearly 4K. Very humbling experience. I'm so glad I went. And I will be going, every Monday and Thursday for the foreseeable future, because until I at least have an event where I need to specifically do freestyle, because it's just going to make me a better swimmer. Like speaking of, I went on Monday and it was fucked. Like I had to strap on the bloody fins to try and keep up with these guys, because the swim set was ridiculous. It was like 1,700 meters. I think it was 200 on 3 minutes, then 200 on 255, then 300 on 250, then 300 on 245, then 300 on 200 on 240, sorry. So 200s on 3 minutes, 255, 250, 245, 240, straight into 50 on 55, 50 on 50, 50 on 45, and 50 on 40, then straight into 100 on a minute 30, 100 on a minute 25, 100 on a minute 20, straight into 50 on, the same as before, 50 on 55, 50 on 50, 50 on 45, 50 on 40 seconds. And it was just fucking brutal. I had fins on, and like those last sets, I was just, the 200s crushed me. And then the rest of it was just a blur. I don't even remember. I just remember finishing being like, what the fuck was that? And before that, we did a bunch of kicking with fins on, and that just blew my legs out, just blew them to pieces. So then when we got to the finish, like the finisher, which was, more kicking, but without fins on, I just got left for fucking dead. Like I can't kick for shit. I can't kick to save my life. Like all my speed comes from my fucking arms. So as soon as it was like, you got to kick, I was like, I just got left for dead. So it's good because I'm working on it. Like I'd never do more than 100 meters kick, probably a week. But now I'm doing nearly, I don't know, we probably kicked variations for like over 1.5 Ks. So I'll get better as long as I keep doing it. So I am going again tonight. It is Thursday night. So I'll be swimming there again tonight at 6:30. Hopefully, I don't know what to expect. All I know is that it's going to be fucking hard, which is a good thing. Like it makes me nervous thinking of it, but I know that, all I can do is show up and have a crack, and I'll get better at some point as long as I keep showing up. So that's my attitude towards the swimming. Just keep showing up until I get better, and it's going to happen. It's just good that I am like, I thought I was fucking topped out, but I'm not even close. So I've got so much room to grow, which is fucking awesome. So it's just, it's exciting. It's exciting stuff. Anyway, that was after Thursday's swim. Then Friday, I had a brick session to do. So I slept in Friday morning, which I was looking forward to. I didn't sleep in as long as I, excuse me, I should have slept in. I didn't sleep in as long as I wanted to because I just couldn't. I woke up. But what did I do Friday? That's right. I woke up, cruised around for a bit because I didn't have enough time in the morning to do my brick session because I had a 2.5 hour ride and then a 5K run. Didn't have enough time to do that before my psychology appointment. So I knew I had to sleep in and then I would do that afterwards. So I did that. By the time I started that, I finished it, I think, like 4:30 or something, which was annoying. It was kind of late. It wasn't annoying, it was just late-ish. So then went to Doncaster on Friday night. Had double grilled burgers, which was the fucking best. Had double grilled burgers on Friday night, which was fantastic. Obviously the vegan ones. If you haven't tried having a double burger, it's like, it's a little bit expensive, but try it. It's the fucking best. It is the revolution, trust me. Think about it. How many times, like if I've taken anything out of COVID, it is getting double burgers whenever I go out somewhere. Because during COVID, I made my own burgers at home, and I would have at least 2, maybe 3 burgers sometimes. So when I go out, why can't I have fucking 2 burgers? It might be a little bit more expensive, but it's fucking worth it. Like, have you ever finished a burger and been like, that was enough? No. So get 2 of them. It's the fucking best, dude. Trust me, try it, and you'll never go back. So that was sick. Loaded up on burgers, and then figured out that Lindt dark chocolate Easter bunnies are vegan. They're vegan. Who would have thought? I thought I checked. I thunked it. Thought I checked last year, and they weren't. I remember seeing like milk solids, but then Caitlin checked on Friday night, and there was no milk solids or anything in them, and I was like, well, we're going to be getting them. So I bought a couple of them and ate one Friday night, which was a good way to finish off the night. Put those calories back in. And then I was like, Saturday I was expecting to have a complete day off, because Sunday I knew I had to run, and then I was going to do the Eltham Tri Club, like fun end of season try in the pool and on the stationary bikes in the evening. So rolled in the Saturday, so I'd have the day off, but ended up doing a session mid-morning. Like, it probably didn't affect me that much. Like, it was hard, but it wasn't that hard. Oh, actually, no, it was pretty challenging. It was a pretty punchy session. I'm just thinking it was over an hour, so it was pretty punchy. But that wasn't what got me on Saturday. That wasn't what railed me. I ate way too many chocolates on Saturday. I got home from the session, ate another Lindt dark chocolate bunny. Then we went to Zenden. I got a choc tahini cookie, ate that. Then our plan for Saturday was to drive to the Source Bulk Foods, because they're selling like they're selling Easter eggs, vegan Easter eggs, filled with like hazelnut, raspberry, like some filled with like a chocolate, chocolate slime syrup kind of thing. And I wanted to try them. So we went there, bought a bunch of them, and like, I was thinking about it. They're quite dense and they're quite large. They're probably the size of like an actual egg. And I ripped probably 2 or 3. No, I probably ate 3 of them before we even got into the car after leaving the bulk foods place. And they're probably like half a block of chocolate each, if not at least a third. So I had eaten a full block of chocolate in the space of 5 minutes trying to taste test them. And then I got in the car and I was like, oh, fuck. I am feeling like I'm going to die. Got a massive headache. We then went to Doncaster on the way back home because Caitlin wanted to get something, and I remember getting a boost and I was like, I'm fucking crashing so hard right now. This is not good. And it was just a slow, steady crash, and got back home, tried to have a nap, but I couldn't. My head was just throbbing. It was fucked, dude. Had the biggest headache. And then I had dropped Caitlin off somewhere that night and got takeaway from Red Sparrow Pizza for dinner because it's amazing. And came home, smashed that. Actually, they gave me so many waffle fries. I ate them in the car on the ride home. So good. Then I, what did I do? Yeah, then got home, like polished off the pizza and the fucking little chicken wing things, and it was the fucking best. Then I just like lay there and I was like, I'm going to bed. It was like 7:30. I was like, I feel fucking dead. I'm going to sleep. So I went to bed early as fuck. And like, had a pretty fucking average sleep, to be honest. And then I woke up Sunday feeling like I was completely hungover. I think I literally had a sugar hangover. It was rough as, dude. I ate so much chocolate that it rendered me useless. Like, it rode off that Sunday. I was supposed to run 20Ks. I went for like 15. I was like, no, I'm done. This is it. I'm not doing it anymore. And then I threw in the towel on there. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. threw in the towel on the fun try in the afternoon as well. I was like, I'm not doing this. Like, my body's fucking cooked. So I threw in the towel on that, and just rode the rest of the day out, pretty much. Like, just, yeah, it crushed me, dude. I had the biggest headache, and I was even like a bit fucked up on Monday as well from it. So moral of the story is, don't eat too much chocolate. Don't eat too much too quickly. Like, if I had staggered it out, it would have been alright, but I ate like a chocolate bunny, a chocolate cookie, and then I ate a block of chocolate in the space of 5 minutes, and it just hit me all at once, and there was no coming back. Feel alright now though, obviously, a week on, so hopefully I don't do the same thing this weekend. I'll try not to. I'll try and keep myself distracted. The benefit, I guess, will be that this weekend I am going to be going for a big ride on Saturday and a big run on Sunday, so I won't be around. I won't be going around buying chocolate Easter eggs and eating them. I'll be busy doing other shit. So yeah, hopefully I got that out of the way. I don't have to deal with that pain until Easter. Whoa. It's funny because I've never really been a big Easter eggy person. Well, not recently, like not since I was probably a big chubby youngster. But yeah, fucking last weekend was a different story. I just went ham, dude. Absolutely ham. Oh, then what happened? Then we roll into daylight savings. That's right, daylight savings was Sunday. I thought I was going to feel so good because I got an extra hour of sleep, but it didn't help at all. I just felt fucked. So that was, yeah, it was an interesting surprise to wake up to, being like, oh, I still feel shit. Shouldn't have eaten all that chocolate. And like I said before, Monday rolled around. I swam again in the evening. That was nice. I hit a solid strength session Monday too. It was lunges. That's right. So I did a EMOMs. EMOMs are what I'm doing my lifting through at the moment. Like I mentioned this in last week's episode, but EMOMs are how I'm getting my heavy lifting done. I'm obviously not lifting maximal loads, but I'm lifting pretty heavy loads repetitively on the 1 minute cycle, which I feel is a super efficient way to build strength, where I'm figuring out if it's an efficient way to build strength. If it's not an efficient way to build strength, it's definitely an efficient way to fucking train the movement, because you overload it like instantly. I did a 12-minute alternating E2 mom. That's what I did. So I did I think it was 12 or 16 minutes, so 8 rounds of alternating, a 16 minute every 2 minutes on the minute of 5 heavy dumbbell front squats and 5 pull-ups. And it was doable for the first 4 rounds, and then it started to get hard. I did 32.5 kilo dumbbell, so what's that, 65 kilos. And it was doable for the first 3 rounds, then it got pretty tough. But it was a great way to get in. What's that? 8 rounds, 8 by 5. Geez, 40? Yeah, 40 reps of each. So I think I might do the exact same thing next week. Maybe add on an extra pull-up each round and see how I go. So that was fun. Good way to fucking get the strength in. Then I did something in between. I did some knees over toes lunges and stuff like that with a reverse. No, I didn't do the sled yet. And then, I did knees over toes lunges, then some like overhead press and some abs or whatever. And then the last component was another EMOM. I'm just loving the EMOM structure at the moment. It's the best way. It's so efficient. That's right. So 10 front rack walking lunges with 220 kilo kettlebells. Then it was 200 meters on the ski. Then it was a sled pull push. And that was rough. The ski was probably too long. I needed to change something. Like the front rack walking lunges were fine. The ski could have been a little bit shorter, but the sled was kind of too heavy. So the last round I knocked off a bit of weight on the sled, and I think I left it at might have been like 80 kilos or something, and that was like spot on because that allowed me to get a bit of recovery. But before that it was probably 120 or something. So coming off a long ski, getting like 10 seconds rest, straight into a heavy sled, and then straight into the front rack walking lunges, it just buried me. I did 5, EMOM 3, yes, I did 5 rounds. I didn't drop the weight back until the last round, so I did 4 rounds of super heavy, and it just buried me. So if I was to do it again, I'd make it lighter or shorter on the ski, and maybe add another couple of reps on the front rack walking lunges, because it was fantastic. I literally think I'll do the exact same workout next week, just with a few more reps or less reps, just a few alterations, because it was fucking good. Then Tuesday, I'm giving you guys a fucking weekly recap, eh? It's been a busy week. Almost 20 minutes of recapping, dog. Tuesday, what was that? So I ran twice. I ran in the morning, then I ran mid-morning, then I ran in the morning, did like a 10K, mainly steady state kind of stuff, and then ran in the mid-morning and did more interval-based stuff. So I ended up with like 17.5 Ks, almost 18 for the morning, and then a trainer set in the evening, and that was a big day. It was a big day. Yeah, my knee was a bit sore when I was running, which was weird. I think it's just from. Honestly, think it was from swimming because of all the kicking. I blew my calves and feet out. Like my feet were so sore from swimming, and I think they've been sore because I've been wearing really flat shoes lately. Like usually I'll roll around in bare feet, which my feet love. Bare feet and slides, my feet love it. But I've been really wearing my nanos, my Reebok nanos, like heaps lately, and they're just dead flat bricks. And I think my feet have just been, copping a beating being in dead flat shoes. And then I did a bunch of kicking, which requires your foot and your shins and your calves and stuff heaps, with the fins on. So that just cooked my feet. And then I went and ran 18Ks. So they were fucking sore. So then Wednesday I made the call and I was like, you know what, I'm going to wear runners during the day. So I busted out some runners and my feet are feeling good today. But that was not the point. I got distracted there. No, that I didn't. Tuesday was just a big day of fitnessing. And then yesterday, Wednesday, was meant to be pretty cruisy, but it was 1-800-fucked. I did a solid strength session in the morning. Oh boy. So back on the EMOM topic, I did 3 5-minute EMOMs of 5 deadlifts. 3 5-minute EMOMs of deadlifts. So the first 5-minute EMOM was 5 minutes of 5 deads at 110. So obviously, you hit first minute, you hit 5 reps, rest. Second minute, you hit 5 reps, rest. Then I rested 2 minutes in between, loaded it up. I did it at 120, 4 reps. 5-minute EMOM, 4 reps. So first minute, 4 reps, second minute, 4 reps, did that for 5 minutes, rested 2 minutes, came back, same, but 3 reps at 130. So 15 minutes, or it was probably close to 20 minutes with the rest in between of just ripping deadlifts. I'm just my mid back, upper back, lower back, hamstrings, glutes, everything's fucked. Traps, forearms, everything's just sore from that today because it was just a lot of grip and rip. Then C2 was more chill. It was like a lot of pressing, a lot of bench, some rows. What else did I do? I did some bridge floor press. Then I did some rows. Then I did some, that's right. I did some bench good mornings, trying to work on that hip flexibility and glute strength. And then I finished with another EMOM, another 15-minute EMOM with 3 exercises. And it was fucked. It was really hard. 16 cal ski, 12 gorilla rows with the 40 kilogram KBs, and 8 power cleans at 60. The ski was alright. It was really hard. I had about 15 seconds to get to the gorilla rows, and they were they'd only take me 20 seconds. They were heavy, but my heart rate stayed up. And then I hit the power cleans, and it just I had to try and go fast if I wanted a big rest, but going fast didn't help me because then I would just blow up, and then I'd have to hit the ski hard. Then I'd wouldn't keep pace, so then I'd only have 10 seconds rest before I got to the rows, and then they would be even harder. Then it would just kept compounding. So I don't know how I would change that one, but it hurt. So did that, and then jumped in on the Metcon again with Ben and hit the Body Fit guys. And that was rough. Ben and I were brainstorming on what to do for it. And it was actually really cool. I'll read it out because it was actually it was a pretty fun workout. It was in 2 teams of 6, but it was really you kind of work together. So it was a 45-minute cap, 2 teams of 6, 8K ski, after each effort, 4 laps of the track, 8 alternating dumbbell snatches, 12 walking lunges, and also an 8k row, 16 cal air bike. So it's 8 cal row after each effort, 16 cal air bike, 12 plate ground to overheads, and 8 burpees to plate. And then in remaining time, you would do max rounds of the gauntlet. So the way it worked was so one team would start on the ski, one team would start on the row. And then at the 15 minute mark, you would swap. And then whatever distance was left of the 8Ks, you would work through before you got to the max rounds of the gauntlet. So if one team didn't put in as much effort, you would get to, say, the ski or the row, and there would be fucking 5,000 meters to go. Whereas if you worked hard, you would only have 3,500 to go. So it just depended on how hard the team before you worked. And then the gauntlet was just, Indian file, 8 cal ski, 8 box jumps, 8 cal row, 8 kettlebell swings, 12 cal air bike, and you just kind of work through that for as many rounds as possible, Indian file. It was fucked. I had a coffee beforehand, and as soon as we started, I hit the ski and came off, hit the track laps, and I was like, I think I'm going to spew. And I felt like I was going to spew for probably the whole 45 minutes and for 15 to 20 minutes afterwards. And then after that, it kind of settled. But I felt like I was going to puke the whole time. So it was rough, but it was fun. It was probably one of the best workouts I've done in a long time. One of the best team workouts I've done in a very long time. But that leads us to today. And oh man, I'm like a broken man today. I woke up, I had a trainer set this morning. It was real hard. It was 3 minutes at, just above threshold or at threshold. I can't remember. All I know is it was fucking hard, dude. My legs were cooked, my body was trashed, my CNS was trashed. I think everything was just trashed. And then I jumped on, hit the first few efforts, and then I'd get halfway through and my body would just be nope. And then because I'm riding on Zwift with ERG mode, it matches. So it just say if you got a super high cadence, it'll match the watts it'll bring the watts up to match that cadence, or it'll bring the resistance up to match that cadence. So if you slow your cadence down, it's going to bring the resistance up to match your slow cadence. And if you speed up, it'll drop the resistance down to match that cadence, to make sure you're holding the right watts. So as soon as your legs start to die on you and you slow down a bit, it just fucking whacks you with a higher resistance, and you're like, oh fuck. And then if you can't keep up, if you can't keep on top of it, your legs just grind to a halt, which is what happened to me during this morning's session. My legs just ground to an absolute halt. And I was just like, well, fuck. So I paused it, jumped off, shook them out and went to go again. In the end, I had to just turn ERG mode off, and I could hold it without ERG mode on, which was all right. It was just fucking rough. So yeah, I learnt my lesson. And then today I was like, you know what? I'm not doing anything in between that and my swim. I'm just going to take some time to chill, record a podcast, and then get ready to get my ass handed to me tonight. My mindset is just show up and do the work. Show up and do what I can. You can, as long as I'm showing up, I'm going to be learning new shit. So it doesn't matter as long as I show up and give what I got. That's the important thing. So I might even get there a little bit earlier, hit some more laps. Hit some solid warm-up laps to get myself in the groove, and then time to party. But yeah, that brings us to right now, in this moment, I'm sitting in my chair stretching, getting ready for today's topic. I did a bit of planning on this one yesterday, or the day before, I can't remember. But the topic was initially, actually, I'm going to screen grab that, because this is the start of the topic. So the topic was initially meant to be weight gain around training and how your weight fluctuates through training cycles and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, no, that's kind of a topic, a subtopic. So then I pegged it back, and then I was like, okay, I have an idea of what the topic should be. And it is basically, your weight doesn't define your health. Does that make sense? Yes, your weight doesn't define your health. I kind of touched on this indirectly during the last 2 weeks podcast, but I thought it deserved its own little standalone one, because it's fucking important and it concerns everyone. if you would ask anyone, like, oh, what do you weigh, or what are you supposed to weigh? Like, everyone has an answer to that question, which is a bad thing, because, like, what determines what you're supposed to weigh? Like, what factors? Who the fuck? Like, who determines that? Why are you supposed to weigh a certain amount? Why are you supposed to be? It's all based on bullshit. There's no, like, even the fucking BMI, body mass index calculator. I can do it right now and I'll tell you that I am overweight. What's my BMI? Here we go, BMI test. So it's just fucking bullshit, dude. Like, it's, for some people it might work, but now it's ridiculous. I'm going to do this right live, because I actually weighed myself the other day for the first time in a long time. So I'm male, I'm 195 centimeters tall. Oh my God, fuck off. Pop-ups, dude, they drain life. And I weigh, let's say, I probably weigh 100 kilos now, because I've been eating like a lot of crap. Your BMI is considered overweight, 26.3. Bullshit. I'm not overweight. I'm healthy. So that just attests to my point that I'm trying to make, which is, like, who the fuck says you're supposed to weigh a certain amount? Yes, there are going to be ends of the scale where, like, you know what, you are overweight and you do need to lose a bit of weight. And then there are going to be ends of the scale where you don't have enough weight on. You need to eat a bit more and you need to put weight on to be healthy. But generally speaking, weight fluctuations are a part of life, and it shouldn't define how you see yourself and how others see you, and how you see yourself as healthy or not. Like, for me, my weight fluctuates fucking heaps depending on what I'm eating, what I'm doing, what I'm training, but I'm healthy. As long as my overall, like, I guess we'll come back to this at the end, but my overall opinion on this, like, your weight shouldn't define your health, is that as long as you are exercising regularly, eating a well-balanced diet, and feel good, then who fucking gives a shit what you weigh? Doesn't matter. Shouldn't even be something that comes up. Like, I stopped weighing myself when I was in that eating disorder, like, trying to snuff that out, trying to get rid of it. I stopped weighing myself completely because it was a trigger. So, like, I'd literally weigh myself before, then I would try and get myself back down to that same weight or less after, like, binging and, like, trying to get rid of it by vomiting it up. So, not a good thing, very triggering for me. So I stopped weighing myself for ages, and I don't do it anymore. I just did the other day because I was genuinely curious. I was like, I wonder if this will, set me off or trigger me. And it didn't, thankfully. I was like, oh, that's interesting to know. And then, just moved on with my life and continued to eat a bunch of chocolate. So I've got a bunch of notes here that I'll just roll through. I may have already covered some of this shit off, but just a brief intro to this topic. So for me, coming from an eating disorder, I see there are a lot of negative behaviors and thoughts and judgments around weight gain and thinking negatively about yourself if you gain weight. Now, like, all right, this is, like, in some cases, this is fair. Like, in some cases, people are overweight. There are people that are, fat, and it's unhealthy. But, if you're your everyday healthy person who does have exercise regularly and does that, these are the three pillars that you got to come back to. If you exercise regularly, eat a well-balanced diet, and feel good, don't worry about your weight. Like, that's, as long as you're ticking off those three pillars, you are healthy and you're good to go. So gaining weight isn't always bad, and it isn't always bad. Society has just told us that it's bad. We are supposed to weigh these certain amounts that are set out to us by other people. And if we weigh less or more, then we need to correct that because it's wrong, which is total bullshit. Like, obviously there are going to be times where we can weigh too little or too much. And these are real health concerns. And if you fall into one of these categories, then you should seek professional help. But it is unlikely that one person is going to have the same, that's a completely different point. If you fall into one of these categories, you should seek help because you need it. You need professional help. But there are also, like, obviously these are all completely individualized standards too. Like, one person is going to, one weight is going to suit another person as another weight's going to suit someone else. Like, it's not specific to everyone else. Sorry, what was this? But there are also completely individualized, and it is slightly one person is going to have the same standards as the next one. That's right. So, sorry, I've lost my notes. My phone's going off. It's distracting the shit out of me. I'm going to turn it upside down. All right, where were we? Here we go. So obviously there are definitely times where we can weigh too little or too much. These are real health concerns, but they are also completely individualized, and it is unlikely that one person is going to have the same standards as the next. Exactly. So an example, like, and this is not a shot at anyone, but when I was growing up, the number that was drilled into my head was 90 to 95 kilos. And I was told that, like, that's the best weight to be. That's the weight I've got to weigh. And, based on nothing, that number was pulled from fucking thin air, and it was literally just a fucking number. And like, I held that with me, and it's still kind of like burned into my brain. I honestly think that's probably something that gave birth to my like eating disorders and stuff like that. But that was the number, 90 to 95 kilos. And, attaching ourselves to a number on the scales is ridiculous. Like, the only time that that you have to attach yourself to a number on the scales is if you are trying to make a weight class in a boxing match or a weightlifting competition. The rest of the time, it's just nonsense. You should base it off the 3 pillars: exercise, balanced diet, and how do you feel? I look back at trying to make 95 kilos. I look back on that time all the time, and it was the worst. If I wasn't that weight, I'd beat myself up. It'd be fuck. Like, I remember playing footy, and when I was with the Knights, they'd weigh us before each game, and I'd weigh fucking 97, 98, like shit, like fucking hell. What am I supposed to do? Then I'd play the game, and they'd weigh us after the game as well to measure our hydration. Stay hydrated. Where is it? Here we go. Stay hydrated. To measure our hydration. And I'd weigh 94.9. They'd be like, you got to drink, whatever the difference was, just say it was 3 kilos. You got to drink twice that. So you got to drink 6 liters of water to rehydrate yourself. And I'd be like, nah, fuck that. I'm under 95. Like, that's good. I'm going to keep it this way. Which is ridiculous because I was dehydrated. I'd just taken the water out of all my fucking cells. So it's preposterous. So, like, what I'm trying to get at is I'm trying too hard to follow my notes. What I'm trying to get at is assigning ourselves a number, or being assigned to a number that we have to weigh, is fucking stupid. And it is a one-way ticket to, burying yourself into a world of self-hate, punishing yourself for not being a certain way. It's just a one-way ticket to disaster. You should not attribute yourself or your value to a number on a fucking scale. But yeah, I'd be constantly chasing that number, 95 kilos or under. And as soon as I'd crack it, as soon as I'd get under, I'd be like, great, let's go even lower. And I was bound to fail. I was bound to end up where I did, blowing out and smashed, with an eating disorder and all sorts of fucked up stuff. It was destined to happen. Especially looking back on it now, even during this podcast, I was like, no wonder I ended up there. That was my destiny. Coming from, where I started to where I finished, it was like everything lined up. I had all the right things drilled into my head to end up in that position, which sucks. But at the same time, it doesn't suck because I am now trying to help other people avoid that. So if you're listening to this and you currently attribute yourself to a number on the scales, really try and not do that. One of the biggest tips I have for anyone is just stop weighing yourself. Go by feel. Even sometimes, you'll look in your mirror and you'll see yourself put on weight, lose weight, blah, blah, blah. But even that is superficial because your body fluctuates so much, which I'll touch on in a bit, but your body fluctuates so much with your water weight, depending on what you eat. For girls, like your period and stuff like that, your body's going to bloat, slim down. It's just... there are so many variables that go into it that you are seriously better off just scrapping it all. Like, some days you're going to look fucking shredded. Some days you're going to have abs. Some days you're not. Fuck it. That's just life. You've got to just go on, feel. Like, if you're still following a fucking, great exercise plan, you're working out a couple of times a week, eating well, feeling good, go by that. That's the important thing. Weight, all that shit is not important unless you're trying to do it for sport-specific reasons. Unless you're a fucking bodybuilder who needs to get on stage and literally be judged by how you look, don't fucking worry about it. Who gives a shit? As long as you feel good, that's all that matters. But so lately, for the past few years, I think, for the past, I don't even know, to be honest, because I don't weigh myself anymore. But for the past few years, I've been weighing around 100 kilos, I think. That's what I've been putting into everything. I always say, no, I'm 100, because I think that's roughly what I am. Like, I weighed myself the other day and I was 98. So I dare say, 100 is a pretty accurate representation of where I'd be sitting at. And I feel great. I look back on that time when I was like, 95. I was like, fuck that dude. I've been 100 for years and I feel fucking fit as, like, at the moment I feel broken because I trained really hard, but I feel good enough to be able to train really hard and put up fucking good numbers to get me to the point where I feel broken. So it's good. Like, I just wish I could go back and be like, dude, it's not that important. You don't need to weigh a certain number. Just keep fucking, eat a bunch of food, help yourself recover. Don't be afraid to drink a bunch of water because you're going to put on more weight. Like, who gives a shit? But yeah, I feel fucking awesome now. And if you were to ask if I was healthy now, then I would fucking say yes. Was I healthy back then when I was 95? No, I wasn't. Like, I mean, depends who you ask. But if you're asking me, the person who was in that body, no, I wasn't at all. Now I am. Now I'm definitely healthy. Like, I eat a balanced diet. Like, I eat crappy food, but I also eat great food most of the time. I train regularly, probably more than regularly, but that's because, my goals are different to other people's. And I feel fucking great. Like, I mean, yeah, I feel sore today, but I feel great. I feel like, what? I go hard. So, like, I can't keep reiterating. Don't assign yourself to a number on the scales, because who the fuck is telling you that you need to weigh that number? Who? Where do they pull it from? Is it science? No, it's not. It's bullshit. Like, don't fucking punch in BMI calculator, because that's a load of crap. Body mass index, fuck off. I don't even know why that's a thing still, because it's been proven ridiculously wrong so many times. Anyway, I don't weigh myself anymore. It was a trigger for me back in the day, so I decided to stop doing it completely. I just go by feel now. Like I said before, I just go by how I feel. If I'm eating good, if I'm training well, then cool. I don't. It doesn't bother me. So what was I going to say? Here we go. So that's right. So, I know if I'm gaining unnecessary. I'll know if I'm gaining unnecessary weight if I just looking out for a few markers. So I just follow the rule of, like I said, I'm going to keep fucking reiterating it throughout this episode so I can drill it in your heads. Train regularly. That's 3-4 times a week, whatever suits you. Try and train regularly, eat well, and make sure you feel good too. Feeling good is the big thing. You don't want to be training so much that you feel like shit. You want to feel good too. You want to feel fit. You want to feel strong. You want to feel healthy. You want to eat well so you can fuel your performance, fuel your recovery, and feel better. You want to train regularly so you can, keep your body going. It ties into last 2 weeks episodes, leading a healthier lifestyle. You're going to live longer if you train. So why not? You're going to live longer if you train well and eat healthy. So why not do it? But if I know, I'll look out for a few markers to tell if I'm gaining unnecessary weight. If I'm feeling sluggish or slow for more than a few days, like being a regular occurrence over maybe a couple of weeks. So just say for a few weeks in a row, I felt sluggish for 3 or 4 days of the week. It's like something's wrong. What's going on? What can I change? Haven't been eating super well lately. If I've been eating crappy for the past 2 weeks or so, then I'll be like, oh, maybe I am gaining unnecessary weight because I'm not eating well. Sleeping and training are very average. So if I find my sessions are like shit and I'm not training well, and I'm sleeping crappy, then it's like, well, what am I doing? What has changed? What has changed? I'll look for things like, oh, you know what? This whole week I just ate a bunch of processed packaged food. That's not good. That's going to be filled with like sodium and shit that doesn't mix well with recovery and stuff like that. So I'll I can scrap that this next week. Let's just try and really eat whole foods throughout the whole week. And on the weekend, have whatever you want. But during the week, try and stick to a fucking solid diet. Not a diet, but I hate that fucking word. There's so much negative association with the word diet. I just don't like saying it, even though your diet is your food that you eat during the week. So let's just say food choices. But yeah, if you haven't been making great food choices lately. So that's another marker that I'll say. Like, look, I'm feeling a bit sluggish, not sleeping as good. My training isn't going that great. I've been eating crappy. You'll be able to see if you look in the mirror. You're like, I am looking like I'm carrying a bit of extra weight at the moment. You'll feel it. You'll feel it on your body. And if you're feeling this feeling for more than a few days, then odds are you probably are. And you'll know. Like, it's not hard to tell if you're if you're not exercising. Just say you stop exercising regularly, you stop following your exercise routine, you stop eating well, you start to feel shitty. It's like, okay, you have to look at that situation, step back, look at it and be like, all right, why do I feel this way? What have I changed that is making me feel crappy? And then fix it. So just keep an eye out for those markers. They're not obvious. Like they'll slap you in the face pretty hard. So if you start to feel that stuff, make changes, fix it. But like I said, the last 2 weeks, a healthy lifestyle is about balance. You got to balance everything. So you know what? Eat healthy during the week, and on the weekends, eat whatever the fuck you want. So there is a massive difference between gaining weight and being overweight. Weight gain is a part of life. It also isn't necessarily always fat. And if it is fat, it isn't always a bad thing either. It depends completely on your circumstance and your starting point. Obviously, if you're overweight, don't lead a relatively healthy lifestyle, meaning regular exercise and balanced diet, then seek help from a professional and get them to help you out. Like, don't fucking, if you want, you can listen to this, but I'm just giving my advice on things that I've kind of gone through as a person and things that I've seen and read. But yeah, weight gain is going to be a part of your life. Everyone's going to fluctuate. It's just the way it fucking is. So if you're going to beat yourself up every time you gain weight and reward yourself every time you lose weight, then your life's just going to be like, life's already a fucking roller coaster. Why would you want to make it even more of a roller coaster? Why would you want to add a roller coaster on top of the roller coaster when you're going to beat yourself up every time you gain weight and reward yourself every time you lose weight? Why can't you just be, you know what, my body's going to do things as I move through life. As long as I'm following a pretty healthy lifestyle, then you know what, let it do what it's got to do. Our bodies look after us. We don't even understand the human body. I could go off on a huge tangent right now that I'm not going to do, but we don't even understand the human body. We have no idea what it does. It does so many different things. So you know what, just trust that if you fuel it properly and you keep it active and keep it strong, making sure you're, working it all through all different aspects, you'll be good to go. So the different ways that we can gain /or lose, areas we can gain or lose weight, as follows. So the main ones are, it's muscle, water, fat, and muscle, water, and fat. That's it. They're the big ones. So let's talk about muscle first. Let's talk about the big one. Everyone loves muscle. Everyone wants to gain muscle. If you're putting on weight and you've been lifting weights lately, there's a very good chance that it could be muscle. As long as if you're fueling your body properly and you've been lifting heavy weights, it's going to be muscle. As long as you're eating enough calories. If you're not eating enough calories, and you've been doing a heap of strength training and you're gaining weight, it could be fat because your body will metabolize your muscle and use that as fuel. Instead of because you're not eating enough, it's like, I've got to use this muscle for fuel. It'll break that down and then you'll lose muscle and gain fat. So you got to make sure you're fueling your training properly. So don't go skimping on food. Like eat. Especially if you're training hard, fucking eat food. You got to fuel your training. Don't be scared to eat. That's something I've learned, over my fucking 3 or 4 year journey. Particularly in the last month or so, I've started realizing more and more about how much fueling your body is a good thing and how much better it makes you. Like if you eat properly, it's most of the time good, but it can also be shit. As long as you're fueling your body properly, as long as you're eating enough calories, your performance gains and your strength gains, everything's going to go through the roof. One of the ways you can gain weight is muscle. That's a good thing. If you're gaining muscle, keep doing it. That's fucking sick. There's a misconception out there. There's a common misconception out there that if you start lifting weight, you're going to look like a fucking bodybuilder. You're going to look like Arnie. let me tell you something right now. You're not going to look like that dude. To look like the bodybuilders that step on stage, you have to, if you want to look like the Mr. Olympia guys, you're going to have to do gear. You're not going to look like them without doing multiple cycles of steroids and getting fucking jacked up and getting super strong, super beefy. You're not going to do that without getting on the gear and training super hard and eating like 6,000 calories a day. It's not going to happen. And like, it's a long, slow process. So it's not going to happen at the snap of a finger. You're going to notice it happening. And if you're like worried about getting too bulky, then you know what? If you get to a point that you're happy, stop. And it'll fucking stop and try and maintain it. You're not going to blow out and become fucking Arnold overnight. Impossible. So like for the general population, you're never going to gain so much muscle that it becomes a health risk. That's right. So you're never going to be able to gain too much muscle that it becomes a health risk. Like, your body's never going to gain too much muscle that it can't hold it. This is only going to happen for fucking the bodybuilders that were getting on the gear. So like, don't be scared of gaining too much muscle, because you're not gonna be able to. Trust me, take it from me, take it from hearing it from people that have been in the game for fucking years. You can't gain too much muscle unless you start fucking hitting needles. So don't worry about it. Whereas you can gain too much fat. You can put on so much fat that your body can't handle it anymore, and then you end up with fucking diseases and stuff like that. Muscle, not going to happen. So any muscle gain is good. Sky is the limit with this one. When will I gain muscle? So you will gain muscle through two kind of circumstances. First off is eating in a surplus. This is given. You have to train. You have to be training. You can't just eat in a surplus and sit around all day. You're not going to gain muscle. You're going to gain fat. You have to be eating in a surplus and lifting weights. You have to tick both of these boxes in order to gain muscle. You need to eat more calories than your body's burning. And you need to be challenging yourself with resistance training. Now, a great way to build muscle is hypertrophy training, which is like, it's not lifting heavy weights. It's focusing on the muscle's movement. It's focusing on like feeling the muscle when you use it. It's not lifting the heaviest weights. It's using the muscle. Like, this is using muscles through different planes of motion, whatever. You have to be challenging that muscle to make it grow. There's another kind of misconception about everybody's got abs. It's like, yeah, everybody has some form of abs. But if you want to get if you want to get big abs, you have to train them and eat in the surplus. And a good way to train abs is, all right, you got your ab exercises, cool. But a great way to train abs is heavy compound movements. You think guys out there can back squat 200 kilos and deadlift fucking 350 or whatever, have weak cores? No, they got the strongest cores around. You think Olympic weightlifters catching a fucking clean in a front squat have weak abs? Nah, they got the strongest, biggest abs around. You try and front rack a fucking barbell that weighs more than 50 kilos. You're going to feel that shit blowing up your core almost immediately. You try front racking 2 kettlebells, you're going to feel your core blow up. Your body wants to squish, and your abs are going to keep you tall. I don't even know where I went with that, but just make sure you're challenging yourself with resistance training and eating in a surplus. Try and make that surplus through protein, mainly protein-rich foods. But at the end of the day, like, as long as you're getting that surplus in, your body's going to make do with the calories you're putting in. Like, and I've written that here, you could dive into protein intake and all that kind of stuff, but you know what, that's complicated. I don't like complicated. I like keeping it simple. And the way I can keep it simple is, if you want to build muscle, eat in the surplus and challenge yourself through resistance training. Cardio, like, I guess let's touch on the cardio aspect of it too. Cardio doesn't necessarily burn muscle. That's another misconception. Fuck, this episode is going to be full of misconceptions. Cardio doesn't burn muscle. Cardio only burns muscle when you're not eating enough food to, outweigh it. So if you find, like, I've kind of found this with Ironman stuff. If I'm not eating enough food, I'm going to lose muscle. So I need to eat. I need to eat food to compensate for the fucking endurance training. I got to eat enough food to compensate for the hours of riding and running and swimming I'm doing. And then I got to eat enough food to compensate for the weightlifting I'm doing and the strong stuff. So like, you gotta fucking eat. This is the biggest thing. And like, I'm coming from someone who was scared to eat all the time. Like I was scared of it because there was that negative connotation with how much I weighed. Whereas no, eating is the answer to all the problems. So you gotta fucking eat, bro. That's the best way out of it. But yeah, so what are we gonna touch on next? That's right. Next up is, all right, guys. I once again overshot the mark on. I've got to stop writing such extensive episode notes, but I overshot the mark, so this is going to be a two-parter. Next week, I'll cover off the remaining part of this, which was, I'll give you a quick sneak preview of what it's going to be. So I obviously covered off gaining muscle as a way of gaining weight, but there's obviously water and fat as well. Water's a bit of a flop, heads up. I fucking dropped the ball on that one, but you know what? You live and you learn. Should have done a bit more research. Fat, and then I talk about weight fluctuation around training goals and how training goals that differ. I go on a bit of a rant about how I don't like bodybuilding. Then I go on weight fluctuations around periods for women, and then I kind of wrap it all up in a neat bow and give you a final kind of blurb. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode. What am I going to do? I've got to swim tonight. Nice. I'm probably going to have a nap before that because it's going to be a tough one. But yeah, hope you guys have a ripper week. What else is there? I feel like there was something else to tell you. I'm trying to find a new vegan protein to drink. I'm trying True at the moment. It's not as bad as last time I had it. Last time I had it, it was crap. It was very powdery. It didn't do the job for me, but it's not too bad this time. But I'm trying to find a new one, so I don't know if you got any recommendations. Shoot them through. I haven't tried Prana On. I'm trying to find one that doesn't have a bunch of fucking unnecessary additives in it. Also, how fresh is this t-shirt? I'm trying to find one that doesn't have a bunch of unnecessary additives. So I don't know. Hopefully I can find one soon. Then I can get into my banana. I've been making bulk banana, frozen banana, and just protein smoothies with a bit of peanut butter in them. They're the fucking best. I'll probably put in 2.5 frozen bananas, 250 of water and 250 of some form of plant milk. Mix that shit up. It's nice and thick, and then just slam it. It's delicious. Might even have one after this, eh? Or I might have a burger now. Yeah, I might have a burger. It's almost time for dinner. I'll have an early dinner before I swim because it's so late. I don't like swimming, finishing. I don't get out till 8 o'clock. Get home at, say, 8:30. I don't want to eat at 8:30. I want to go straight to bed. I don't want to eat, feel full, and then go to sleep. I'd rather eat before, maybe come home, maybe have a snack or an ice cream or something when I get home. Or a drink like a Cocoa Coast, and then go to sleep. I don't want to be eating a bunch of food before going to bed because it's I don't know about you guys, but for me personally, I like to eat a while before bed. I don't want to go to bed on a full stomach. It feels shit. You're rolling around. You can't sleep properly. If you eat a while before you go to bed, you feel fucking great. So that's my plan. I'm going to eat dinner at 4 o'clock today. Make sure it settles before I swim because you don't want to be swimming on a full stomach because it will probably come out of you. You don't want to be skiing on a full stomach. I learned that yesterday with that coffee. Fuck, I was so close to spewing, dude. Holy shit. Thankfully I didn't. But yeah, anyway, guys, I hope you have a fucking ripper week. I'll chat to you next week. I'll put out an episode next week, but I might take the next week off. I don't know. We'll see how we go. But yeah, hope you guys have a fucking great week. I'll chat to you in the next episode. Another two-parter. I don't know if you guys enjoy the two-parters, but they just keep happening. I keep picking topics that are long as shit, and I don't want to put out. I feel like around the 60-minute mark is a good mark. An hour 20 is probably too much. This one's probably going to go for. See, if I had left this together, it'd be an hour 30. Almost. So for me that's too long. It's no, I'm better off chopping it down to around an hour and then, sandwiching the next part next week. I could even wear the same t-shirt and you wouldn't even fucking know. Anyway, hope you guys have a good week. I'll chat to you in a week's time. Enjoy.